and welcome to Blockchain Gaming World with me, John Jordan. So in this video I'm going to have a look at Garbage Pail Kids. So that's the collectible cards that have just been launched on the Wax blockchain, obviously based around the real physical collectible Garbage Pail Kids cards. So the first series, which originally came out in 1985, they were actually bubblegum sticker. They were like a pack of stickers with a bubblegum, so that was kind of how they came about, and they became a kind of a collectible. Gone on from strength to strength since then. So series 1 have been released, that's 82 cards, and on the blockchain they have been, there's kind of different versions. So you have what they call kind of common cards or base cards, then we have these prism cards, you might be able to see they kind of have a bit of animation in the background. And there's some other rarer ones as well. So these are my cards. I've got 10 cards. So there was a kind of a launch. You could buy $5 for a pack of 5, or $25 for a pack of 30. And obviously they had different rarity drops. I didn't get anything very rare. I got 8. I think I got 8 base cards and 2 prism ones. Is that right? Yeah. So I've not got anything very valuable, but it's interesting, and I always think for me what's most interesting about blockchains is not the fact people say, well, you can spend money buying these characters in your game, and then when you finish with them you can sell them. That's not actually true. So what blockchain allows you to do is it provides the ability for you to create a sale. Obviously it doesn't mean if you have spent a year playing a character and you think it's worth $100 that someone will buy it for $100. That's very different. That depends on the game having a growing kind of community base, and something that you have actually has rarity. But for me, I'm still interested if I spend $100 in a game and I can sell that character for $75. It's not about making money, but it's getting some money back. I think that's the more interesting thing. So that's kind of the experiment I'm doing here. So I don't have anything very rare. And what's interesting, if we look here, so this is a marketplace just for Garbage Pail Kid cards. We can have a look on the sales feed. So this is all running off the Wax blockchain, which is a kind of version of the EOS blockchain. So we can see here this Nasty Nick base card sold for 208 Wax, which is quite a lot. We can see, I mean, I should point out, so in terms of some kind of cards have, I guess, some sort of aesthetic kind of value, in the sense Nasty Nick is the number one card, so you could argue there's some sort of value beyond the fact it's a base card in that. Prism cards, they're rarer, so there's not so many of them, so they have potentially you think they have a high value. And if we look down here, we can see a lot of the sales recently have been prism cards, and we can see if we keep going down, so some of these base cards are going for about 50 Wax. The 50 Wax is at the moment about getting on for $2. So if you remember, there were 5 cards in a pack, and basically I got 5 in a pack. I got 4 base cards and 1 prism. So you would kind of think, I mean, you could do some basic math, and you would maybe think something like these base cards are worth about at best like $1 each. And the prism ones might be worth a bit more. And if that was the case, you had 4 for $1 and then 1 for $2, you'd make $6 on the $5 that you paid out. So that would be definitely a profit. Obviously, the issue there is it's very hard to know how if people are actually going to want all these cards, because there are, as we can see here, there's lots of variants of these base cards out there. So it's not very clear that lots of people are going to be going in and wanting to collect complete sets. Something that is very valuable, as we come to it here, is some people have kept their packs and not opened them. So packs, because they're not opened, they have very strong rarity. So that's those are going for considerable sums of money, much more than $5. I'm trying to do the maths there. Is that $120? Something like that. So yeah, so there does seem to be some sort of liquidity. Liquidity just means people buying and selling, but we can see here that there are clearly some collectors. So this wallet here is buying up. Actually, this wallet is buying from this wallet. Maybe there's some wash trading going on. Maybe people just kind of buying off each other. There does seem to be some sort of So why this person's bought 2 of the same card, I don't know. But anyway, the experiment is to see whether I can sell any of these cards, which I think is always very fascinating for blockchain stuff. So what I'm going to do is start creating some sales. I don't think any of these are particularly valuable in and of themselves. They're pretty standard cards. So I'm going to create a sale. So if I want to sell these, if I definitely want to sell them, I could go 25 wax. So they're saying the lowest price has been 120, but so for 25, if there's a market there, I should definitely sell it. The market takes a fee of 10%, so that's 2.5 wax, and then so I would get like about $1 for that. So I think that's a fairly, I think that's okay. So I can list that for sale. So we have to sign this. Obviously, it's a blockchain, so you have to kind of sign. I could click here, and I could always just sign these, so they don't get the pop up next time. So let's see. So that one has that gone now. Yeah. So that one's actually disappeared from my inventory. So let's try again. Savage Stewart. So the lowest price of that is 60. So I could try and be a bit more extravagant. Try and sell that one. What's interesting is this, because it's the Wax blockchain, is unlike Ethereum, I don't pay for the listing. So on the EOS blockchain, you basically stake. You stake tokens, and that gives you access to the blockchain. You don't pay on a transaction basis. So in a sense, that makes it better for trading. So this one, the lowest price of this one is 300, and I mean that seems a bit ridiculous to me. Doesn't tell you kind of how much it's sold for, but let's assume that's the case. Let's try that for 150. I mean, that would be amazing if that was the case. List that for sale. The problem for this is I don't think there's been that much liquidity because the thing's only launched recently, so you don't have a long trading history. So let's be modest for that one. What's this 100? Heaving Stephen. Okay, it's saying 130 wax. Let's try 100. Boozing Bruce. I do like Boozing Bruce, and I like the alter ego card, Drunken. Just amusing. Okay, so let's lowball on him. Guillotina and Junkie Jeff. So basically what I'm doing is just randomly doing some pricing based on some suggestions. I don't know if those suggestions are good, but basically what I'm trying to do is see if I can actually sell any of these things. I don't really care. So this one's saying these are the Prism ones. These are a bit rarer. So we're saying 400 for that one and 750. So and that would be, again, if I sold that for that, I mean it'd be unbelievable. 400, that's ridiculous, but let's try 200 for that. So there we go. I listed everything for sale, and now it's kind of a case of waiting. So here are all my cards. So yeah, come back and watch the next video to see if any of them are sold. To be honest, I think I'm going to have to cut the price a lot on these. I'm always a bit skeptical. I think it's always much harder to sell things than people think, but it does depend obviously on the type of kind of, in this case it's a collectible, so it's a different sort of thing to a game. And I imagine some people are trying to collect all the cards, so that would be some measure of activity going on there. Thing is, I think lots of people now are just trying to flip their cards and make a lot of money. You see the people on Twitter who are telling you how much money they've made doing this. Never believe them. But we'll wait and see. Anyway, have I sold something already? That seems to have gone up. No. That's the thing. How will I know if I've sold something? Well, that'll be the next video. Anyway, okay, so it's been, I guess, about an hour since I put those 10 cards for sale. And if you were looking closely, you would have seen, even while I was selling them, putting those 10 cards for sale. 2 of them actually sold while I was doing it, but I wasn't really paying attention. So that has been quite a surprise. So I put 10 cards for sale, and I've only got 2 left. And if you can kind of see up here, actually before I sold any cards, I had 90 wax, just over 90 wax, and now I've got effectively 600 wax. So I basically so I've sold basically $21 worth of cards. These ones haven't sold, so it's been interesting, I suppose, that the ones that were kind of cheap, but not just all the cheap ones, but the ones that particularly the cheap base card ones sold, and 2 I've got left are the Prism ones, which are slightly more expensive. But clearly there is a lot of volume, a lot of activity going on with people buying up these cards. Quite what they're going to do with them, who knows? But just looking at the data actually from DAP Radar, and it tells me that this DAP, this GPK market has done $211,000 worth of activity in the past 7 days. So clearly from that metric, there is some people collecting. In terms of users over that 7-day period, we've got 276. That's not users, that's wallets. So people could be using multiple wallets, I suppose. But it seems like from every metric, the Garbage Pail Kids Series 1 sale has been pretty successful, in a sense they sold out the card packs, and people are, for whatever reasons, actively trading these cards. Granted, I was selling them pretty cheaply, but that was kind of the point. I don't care about making money. I mean, if I was going to do this to make money, effectively I have doubled my money. If I bought two $5 card packs and now I've got $20, that's doubling my money. Quite how that would scale if you spent $100 or $200, would that scale in the same way? Who knows? Obviously not financial advice, don't mess around with these things in the hope of making money, but it is interesting to see nevertheless, because this is the kind of thing we predict from blockchains generally, and I guess kind of blockchain collectibles and blockchain games as well. So good to see from that point of view. And I have to say I'm rather surprised. So good from that point of view as well. It's always good to be surprised. I guess I'm sometimes a bit too cynical. But anyway, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. But I hope you enjoyed it, and see you again soon.